Want to know the moral alignment of your survivor main? Well, you're about to find out. Well, what's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So for today's video, I'll be doing a DBD alignment chart for all of the survivors in the game. For those of you guys that don't know what an alignment chart is, here's a picture explaining the entire table. It's basically a chart that was originated from Dungeons and Dragons, which basically classifies the morality type of your character. And most people like me that aren't into D&D probably knew about this chart from a bunch of memes on the internet. But in today's video, I'll be doing a morality alignment for all of the survivor mains in DBD, meaning that they're not based on the DBD lore, they're based on the players actually playing that main. Quickly before we hop into the video, I'll explain each chart division. The rows are separated by good, neutral, and evil. And a basic analogy of this, as you can see is the picture, is they would be good if they would save the puppy, they're neutral if they leave the puppy to its fate, and they're evil if they would kill the puppy. And my column names are a little bit different, but they're separated by lawful, neutral, and chaotic. Lawful is according to principle, neutral is according to need, and chaotic is according to impulse. So combining these all together, the top left chart is going to be lawful good, and these survivor mains are people that have obsessive selflessness that will put the others in front of them every time, and they'll always go straight to the cries for help. Moving over to neutral good, these are survivor mains that will help out in the dire situations, but for minor little things they won't help out. And then chaotic good are survivor mains that will do anything to save the day, but only if they want to save the day. Moving down to the second row with lawful neutral, these are survivor mains that will do as they're told and they'll follow the rules. True neutral are survivor mains that don't take any sides and don't really have any morality differences. And then chaotic neutral survivor mains are completely unpredictable and are very spontaneous in doing whatever they want whenever they want. And then the last row with lawful evil, these are survivor mains that will screw over the team but still follow the rules of the trial. Neutral evil are survivor mains that are very predictable in always choosing themselves and being very selfish. And then chaotic evil is just the pure evil survivor mains that will just inflict evil whenever they want. Now with the alignment chart out of the way, let's get right into the video. Starting with Dwight, he's in lawful good. Dwight mains are innocent locker dwellers, and they'll unhook, heal, and do gens, and basically do whatever makes the team succeed before themselves. Moving on to Meg, she's in neutral evil. Meg mains will help the team by looping and doing gens if the other survivors on her team are good, but if they aren't, they'll turn completely selfish and will leave you to die on hook to help herself escape the trial. Moving on to Claudette, she is in true neutral. Claudette mains don't go out of their way to hurt or help anybody on the team. They basically do their own thing unbothered the entire trial by healing at the corner of the map. Moving on to Jake, he's in neutral good. Jake mains will stay quiet most of the trial doing gens and not really caring too much for a minor unhook or heal, but they will clutch up big time when it does matter most and get that sabo save or that clutch revive when all of the survivors are in the dying stage just to keep the trial alive. Moving on to Naya, she's in chaotic evil. Naya mains are just pure and reckless evil. They will go out of their way to sandbag the team if they don't care about losing, and they'll go out of their way to screw other survivors over to save themselves if they want to win. Moving on to Laurie, she's in chaotic neutral. Laurie mains do their own things throughout the trial, but will make their impact felt. They'll go from doing a mega loop to clutching an unhook to tapping that last gen right in front of the killer's face, just to say that they're basically unpredictable in what they're gonna do next. Moving on to Ace, he's gonna be in chaotic neutral. Wherever an Ace main goes, chaos will follow. Whether they're failing a skill check while healing a survivor, which reveals their location to the killer, or saving the entire trial by doing a 5-gen chase, they don't ever do anything throughout the trial calmly or in a predictable manner. Moving on to Bill, he's gonna be in chaotic good. Bill mains will do whatever it takes to save other survivors, even if it means sacrificing themselves. Whether it means staying in chase chases, doing gens all trial, or constantly healing. Whatever is required for ultimate victory and escaping the trial, they will do. Moving on to Feng Min, she's in lawful evil. Feng Mins really only care about looping the killer, and they'll go out of their way to do so. If that means sandbagging a survivor to get a good chase in, or dropping pallet after pallet after pallet to stay inside of a chase that much longer, for better or for worse, they will do that. Moving on to David, he's in chaotic good. David mains will help their team win in an aggressive and gritty playstyle. They'll get all up in the killer's face to take hits for any survivors that are getting tunneled, or they'll get that clutch pallet save or flashlight save. Basically, if you need help from the killer, a David main has got your back. Moving up to Quentin, he's in lawful neutral. The rare breed of Quentin mains do exactly what it takes to play in a DBD trial, nothing more, nothing less. They'll do the gens, the unhooks, they'll get in chases, but at the end of the day, they just exist in the trial to have fun and simply play Dead by Daylight. Moving on to Detective Tapp, he's in lawful good. Tapp mains are always lending a hand behind the scenes and putting other survivors before themselves. They won't take hits or do anything crazy in front of the killer, but they'll do tons of gen progress and keep all the survivors healed outside of chases. Moving up to Kate, she's in neutral evil. Kate mains are a loose cannon in terms of helping out your team. Sometimes they'll do their own thing, which ends up helping out the team, but most other times they'll end up sandbagging the team or selfishly help themselves to escape. Moving on to Adam, he's in neutral good. Adam mains are always willing to help out the team, but only when it's required. They'll do their own thing for most of the trial, but they will take hits for survivors when it is needed, but they won't run across the map to get a simple heal on a survivor with 0 hooks. Moving on to Jeff, he's in chaotic good. The rare breed of Jeff mains are complete giga chads and will always help out the team in whatever way is needed. They will go to any measure to save the team, even going back in endgame against a face campy Bubba to unhook you. Moving on to Jane, she's in chaotic neutral. Jane mains do whatever they want, whenever they want in a trial. If they want to work on a gen, whether it's the right thing to do, or if all 3 other survivors are on a hook, they will work on a gen. And they'll most likely end up clutching up for the team and saving the day, making the biggest impact of the trial, but do it completely on accident. Moving on to Ash, he's in chaotic good. Whenever you need a survivor to take a hit for you, an Ash main will always randomly appear out of thin air to take one. Even if you don't need a hit taken for you, they'll do it anyways, and even throw in a few pallet stuns and flashlight saves for you out of the kindness of their crazy hearts. Moving on to Nancy, she's in true neutral. Nancy mains are the true center point of survivor mains in DBD. They don't hold any grudges or go out of their way to help out. They simply exist to exist in the trials, for better or for worse. Moving on to Steve, he's in chaotic good. You want to have an easy trial and not be bothered by the killer all game? Well, say hello to Scoops Ahoy's Steve. Steve mains will loop the killer and keep them busy whenever it's needed, but otherwise they'll be helping out with maximum value in other areas like doing gens and healing. Moving on to Yui, she's in chaotic neutral. Yui mains are the embodiment of unpredictability. They don't try to hurt the team or help the team, but their largely impactful actions can do one or the other. They can be seen looping the killer straight to that last gen in the trial. Whether it was on purpose or it was on accident, we'll never know. Moving on to Zarina, she's in lawful neutral. Zarina mains are one of the most quiet survivor mains in terms of impact, which actually makes them perform pretty consistently in trials. They'll do all the basics in a trial, like doing gens and chases, but they won't make a big deal out of it. Moving on to Cheryl, she's in neutral evil. Cheryl mains look really kind at the start of the trials and will do their job by unhooking and doing gens, but as soon as they see an opportunity to help themselves when things start to go bad, they will take it. They'll absolutely avoid being on the hook and will usually be seen near the end of the trial in a hatch standoff with 0 hooks when everybody else is either dead or on double hooks. Moving on to Felix, he's in chaotic neutral. Felix mains will make their presence felt to the survivor and the killer, usually being the busiest survivor in the trial. They will do practically everything there is to do in a DBD trial, whether it be cleansing totems, opening chests, hiding a locker, doing gens. If Felix mains want to do it, they will do it. Moving on to Élodie, she's in neutral good. Élodie mains will help the team in a very underrated and non-flashy way, occasionally getting a clutch pallet stun here and there. They won't go out of their way to save a survivor being tunneled, but will instead work on the gens to help the rest of the team escape. Moving on to Yun-Jin, she's in chaotic evil. Yun-Jin mains are very normal survivor mains at the surface, but they're extremely evil after the first generator pops in a trial. They will stop at absolutely nothing to get what they want, which is usually selfish and will get the team killed, but she still isn't as evil as Nea. Moving on to Jill, she's in lawful neutral. Jill mains are relatively quiet and not super flashy throughout the trial, and they'll do their job and do the basics of gens and unhookings, but nothing more. Moving on to Leon, he's in lawful good. Leon mains are very innocent survivor mains that will always go back to the team either to help them or if they need help themselves. They'll go back for an unhook in endgame, but accidentally lead the killer straight to the last gen when he's trying to complete it and help out the team. Moving on to Mikaela, she's in lawful good. You need a heal, a Mikaela main's got you covered. They're always giving a helping hand with their boons and will quietly keep the team alive and healthy in order to escape the trial. Moving on to Jonah, he's in neutral good. Jonah mains are very kind survivor mains that will help out the team, doing both the quiet things and the flashy things with a balance. They could be seen simply working on gens for most of the trial, but will all of a sudden whip out a super unexpected flashlight save. Moving on to Yoichi, he's in true neutral. There's being boring, and then there's Yoichi mains. Nothing much goes on in the trials with them, and they won't cause trouble, but if trouble arises, they won't help out with it either. Moving on to Haddie, she's in lawful neutral. Haddie mains are often overlooked in trials, but they'll always do the non-flashy things that nobody else wants to do. Is there a Devour Hope totem lying around in the trial? A Haddie main will find it. You need a survivor to sit on gens for the entirety of the trial? A Haddie main will do it. Moving on to Ada, she's in lawful evil. Ada mains are nice in the beginning, but their true colors will show very quickly in a trial. They don't really go out of their way to hurt the team, but if someone needs an unhook or a heal or last gen needs to be completed, Ada is not the survivor main to count on. Moving on to Rebecca, she's in lawful neutral. In the department of altruism, no one does it as routinely as Rebecca mains. They will do the boring things of walking across the map to heal a survivor, but if they are better suited working on a gen, they'll do that instead. Basically, whatever is needed from a Rebecca main, they will do it. Moving on to Vittorio, he's in lawful evil. You won't know a Vittorio main's true colors until the last moment when you really need help. They'll do their job the entire trial, all the way up until endgame, and when you really need a survivor to take one more hit for you to reach exit gates, Vittorio mains will open the door in your face and leave you to get down 5 feet away from the gates. Moving on to Thalita, she's in true neutral. Thalita mains are possibly the most monotone survivor mains. They don't bring anything interesting in the trial. They're practically invisible throughout the game and will make you forget they're even on your team. Moving on to Renato, he's in neutral evil. Renato mains are slightly more interesting than their sister counterpart, but not in a good way. They seem to have a happy-go-lucky attitude at the start of the trials, but will quickly and quietly backstab you without you even noticing. But when you do notice, it'll be too late and you'll be dying on your second hook in basement while Renato escapes the trial with 0 hooks. Moving on to Gabriel, he's in true neutral. Gabriel mains are unironically robots, which is actually lore accurate as well. Whether it's an actual person playing in the trial or it's a survivor bot, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference because Gabriel mains are just that stale. Moving on to Nicolas Cage, he's in chaotic neutral. Nick Cage mains are one of, if not the most chaotic survivor main in DBD. Whether they're doing the unthinkable of running the meme no mither and object of obsession combo, or downing themselves on purpose with plot twists for no reason, Nick Cage mains are just here to have fun and will stop at nothing to have fun, whether it means winning or losing. And finally, moving on to Ellen Ripley, she's in lawful neutral. Ellen mains are one of the quieter survivor mains in DBD, but very well liked on the team because of Josie. They'll do their job and they're honestly just happy to be playing DBD and being in the trial with their other survivor teammates. So yeah guys, that was the alignment chart for all of the survivor mains in DBD. Let me know your thoughts on the moral alignment of your survivor main in the comment section below. And if you'd like to see more of this kind of content on my YouTube channel, make make sure to give this video some love. So yeah, guys, that's been the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshaw, and I will see you guys in the next video.